In this series of getting started with Revit, we're going to start to look at some basic house designs. To fire up Revit, we've just got the startup screen here. We're just going to go to Models and hit New. It's going to give you a new project template file to select. Just leave it on the default one that you have as part of your install and hit OK. And what it's going to do is load up your properties palette, your project browser here on the left, and you'll see your ribbon tools up here at the top. For this tutorial series, we're just going to start to look at some of the basic tools here for building a small house. So for the first section, we're going to look at using the wall tool. And here you can see when you hover over any of these tools, it's going to tell you what they do. Some of them will have little videos showing you how to actually use that tool. For the wall tool, we're just going to click it once, and it's going to, by default, bring up a brick veneer timber wall. So I want to do two things here before I start drawing my wall. Number one, I want to keep this really simple. I just want a generic 200 wall. And instead of the location line going to the wall center line, I want this one to be going to the finish face exterior. So all I've done is I've done the drop down here for the generic 200 wall. So I've just clicked that generic 200 wall. And then under the constraints for the location line, I've done finish face exterior and the drop down. You typically don't see the arrows here. So whenever you select that actual bit of text, the arrow will appear. Finish face exterior. And also, like when you hover over some of these constraints features on the left here, you'll see what they all relate to. So there's some nice little tools that will give you some information on what they actually do before you start to use them. Okay, so let's start drawing some walls here. What I'm going to first of all do is just have my cursor in the center of the screen and just go point and shoot. And I'm going to draw it down to say 20 meters, and you can see it's going in 100 mil increments here. So I'm going to take it down to what do we say, 20 meters. Now if you don't get it exactly right, we can also just manually enter in the dimension. So that's 20 meters, 20,000 millimeters. Now I want to go say 6 meters here. I can actually type in 6,000 and hit return, and that will do it for me. Or I can go up the screen here, and instead of adding those last three zeros, I can type in 20 and hit M for meters, and that will do it as well. So very quickly I'll be able to draw my walls. Don't worry about whether they're 100% accurate at the moment. We can clean that up. We can also view it in 3D. So Revit is a parametric modeling tool, and up here just above the ribbon tab are a number of little helpful shortcut tools. So the one I'm going to use here is the default 3D view, and here we have our walls in our 3D view here. This will appear in a tab. I'm just going to go back to the ground floor and look at our walls. Now it doesn't matter where you draw these. I mean, I can just grab all of this and move it around as needed. Other tutorials will cover where everything is located. We can get into georeferencing if you're interested in that. So here I've got my walls, and at the moment they're showing some temporary dimensions here. I want this to be quite accurate. I want it to be 20 meters to the outside face of the walls. So here I want to go and grab these witness lines and just move it to the outside face of that wall. And again, just grabbing that witness line, moving it to the outside face of the wall. And you can see the actual true dimension to the outside face is 20.4 meters, so 20,400. I want to reduce this to be 20,000, so again I'm just going to type in 20 M for meters, and that will now move that wall accordingly. I'll just do that again. So I'm grabbing that wall, and you can see it's at 6 meters to the inside face. I want to measure to the outside face, so I'm just going to grab that temporary witness line and grab that. It's actually 6.4. I'm going to type in 6. I could type in 6 meters or 6,000. And now that wall is correct to the measurements I want. Next thing I want to do is use some of the productivity tools. So I want to draw some more walls. I can select that wall, and up here, whenever I select something, it's going to bring up this new Modify tab. There are numerous tools here to mirror, extend, rotate, copy, move, align, etc. What I want to do here is use the create one, and there's a tool here called create similar. So I can go and click that, and I can just draw a wall from here out to here. So I'm just going to go 8 meters for this one, and now that's just created similar. To escape out of that, you can hit the modify arrow here, or you can just hit escape. The command is still active. Another tool here is I can go and actually select the wall. Instead of going up to create similar, I can either type CS, you can see CS is available there as the shortcut key, or I can right click and create similar is here as well. So I'm just going to draw a wall from here to here. I want to align it with that wall, so the little temporary line type will come up there, and that's allowed me to create that extra wall. Couple other things I'm going to do to help with my productivity. This is going to be a symmetrical building. I want to use some reference planes. They can come in really handy for drawing productivity. So up here, again, it's just in the first ribbon tab, hit reference plane. I'm going to draw it from here, and I'm just going to escape here to get out of that, and I'm just going to grab the endpoint and bring it down. Now, I'm not going to be too accurate about this at the moment in terms of how long this is. I just want it to be at 4 meters off the face of the building. So it's going to type in 4. And another thing I can do to lock that down with that reference plane is I can go up here to where the modify features are, hit this pin tool, and that will just lock it into place. If I don't ever want to accidentally move it, or if I do move it, it may tell me. At the moment it's not letting me move it. There's some other tools down here where I can prevent from selecting pinned elements as well. That's a nice little handy set of tools, which we can cover later. So now that I've got that reference plane, I want to use some of the productivity tools to modify those walls. Now I can go and grab all those walls like you do in AutoCAD, or I can just select, hover over one, hit tab, that grabs them all, click to select them, and now I can mirror them over that reference plane. So with them selected, I can go to here. We have 2 options for mirror, pick axis or draw axis. I'm going to pick the axis, being that reference plane, and now it's mirrored over here. So that's a nice handy little tool. Whenever you select something, you're going to have all these tools to help with your productivity. The next thing is, with these walls, I want these walls to extend into here. You can just go and grab and drag and drop them in. Or if you're doing a lot of walls, you want some more productivity, you can grab that, and it's going to show you these tools for trimming and extending multiple elements, single elements. So I'm just going to go like that and extend from here to here, and that will bring it in. Escape to get out of it. And now I have my walls all joining together. Other things I could do, I want this wall to actually align with the back of these walls. Now, you could just go and grab these walls and bring them across and do it that way. For the sake of just showing you the tool, I just want to go and use the align feature. So here we have align. You will select the wall that you want to align to, the one that you want to bring it out to, and that will align. You can also padlock it in there. That will just lock those walls together. So now that I've done that, if I move this one around, that wall will always move with it. So you can choose to either have that padlock on or off, depending on your particular workflow. Now for this one here, I want this space in here to be 8 meters. Again, just using that witness line, I want it to be to the outside face, and I'm going to hit 8,000, and that will bring it back to the dimension I want. So here we have all those walls that are roughly in the right place that I want to start my design. The last thing I want to do is just clean it up, because these are the outside walls. So I'm going to go and use the trim command, and again it's TR for trim, and just trim that and that. Now if it says it can't keep the element joined, that's because I've done this alignment here. Don't worry about that just right now. We'll clean that up in a sec. It's just telling us that there's a hole in that wall because this wall was joined with that wall, unjoined. Let's clean that up. Now, just escaping out of that, you can see this one is still an isolated wall. Maybe I don't want it to be separate walls. I want it to be one continuous wall. I'm just going to grab that one and hold down my control key to select the extra one. And I'm going to hit delete to delete them. And for this, again, I'm just going to use the trim command. So in this case, I'm going to type TR. It's going to bring up the symbol for trim, and that's a clean up. So that's the basics to get everyone running with walls. You can repeat this command again to do maybe interior walls. I would again go back to walls. Interior walls might be roughly 100 mil, or there may be more information down here you could choose from. If you're using a stud timber wall at 90 mil, a steel stud at 90 mil, you can start to use these. And just using these same tools that I've just shown, you can start to lay out your internal walls for your design. So here it is in 3D. It again can be adjusted. A lot of these features are available in 3D as well. It just depends on how you prefer to work, whether you like working in the 3D space or the 2D space. This is a really great way just to get up and running doing basic walls for your floor plan in your project.